everyone, and welcome back to There's a Workshop for That. And today, as part of our super series, What's the Workshop for That? I'm super excited to introduce a guest who brings strategy and storytelling together in a way that truly moves the needle. Hello, Mr. Riccardo Mazzolo. How are you?
Hello, Nati. Very good, very good. Happy to be here, and thank you for hosting me in this nice space.
You have this beautiful singing accent. Can you tell us where you're from?
I'm from Italy, the northeast actually, and it's 100 kilometers from Venice, even though right now I am in Barcelona.
In Barcelona. Ah, yes, you are in another country, right?
Yeah.
Not in Italy right now. You are the brilliant minds behind the 10 Diamonds Workshop, a signature method designed to elevate strategic storytelling inside organization. I'm very, very curious to learn more about that. But we start first with who are you and what are you doing for a living?
Well, I am right now a facilitator. I consider myself an explorer. For a living, I do workshops, and I'm launching my brand new workshops boutique, building on the last 8 of my 16 years career experience, where I did more than 300 workshops in different contexts, from startups to corporations.
Ah, very, very, very nice. And you have done 300 workshops, and from these 300 workshops, slowly build your own signature workshops, right? Or how did you come to this?
Yeah, it was a period when I was, like a good artisan, doing a lot of different activities in the workshop space and trying to tailor all the needs of my customers every time in a new way, which was exciting, very interesting, but very costly in terms of timing and emotional space, let's say, because it required every time to restart from scratch the observation on what was needed from the other side. So I remember that by that time, it was 4 years ago, I was wondering why still so many people were struggling in telling their story. And I tried to go to the root cause of the problem, and I thought to myself, maybe they are not aligned in what are the top priorities of their story. So if I help them to identify 10 core pillars, 10 core foundations, and list 3 top priorities for each one of these core pillars of the business plan, maybe I'm doing something that is useful.
Ah, okay. So you were thinking actually of your customer and thinking about your methodology that would bring them through these 10 pillars to help them to express and articulate their story, right?
It was all inspired by Mr. Guy Kawasaki, which is the chief evangelist, former chief evangelist of Apple and now chief evangelist of Canva.com. And he was basically saying, look, I am also an investor and I'm impressed about how many people, even though they are investing so much time and efforts and emotional connection into their businesses, they have very bad ways to communicate their core pillars. And I'm impressed because these people are very smart. These people are putting everything on their business, but still they are not able to solve this simple problem. So I thought to myself, hey, this sounds like a good problem to solve. And I think this problem is way much broader than the startup ecosystem. All the organizations struggle to find a shared common language and a good alignment in order to go with the right pace with internal decisions and connect externally with ideal customer profiles using the right messages and the right pace. So this was the starting point, and I'm so happy that they put my effort in standardizing a bit of a process to solve this problem.
And this signature workshop that you have developed, I know that he was supported by some financial support from Italy, right?
Yeah, because when I decided to launch this initiative, I did it in partnership with Diverge, which is a European tech cluster that is partially financed by the Italian region Friuli Venezia Giulia, where we are located. And the director of the cluster told me, Riccardo, if you want to present your initiative to the regional office that takes care of developing the work and entrepreneurial ecosystem of our region, I do believe they might be interested to promote this initiative to regional companies that want to build these capabilities. And so we did. I presented the workshop to the regional office that takes care about this kind of development. And they said, look, we are happy to give you a sum of money that you can use in order to invite every year around 10 companies to work into these methodologies. And now we are at year 4. So we have received for 4 years in a row this contribution from the region. And we have supported with this approach more than 50 organizations from small startups to bigger corporations.
Wow. So this is what you will present us, and I'm sure you will navigate us through the different steps, is really a proven workshop, a proven signature workshop that you have been leading. Like, how many times did you lead this workshop actually?
Yeah, on my own, I did this more than 20 times, plus the other 30 organizations were covered by other facilitators that we have reached in the last years. So it was very cool because the first year we were partnering with this regional ecosystem. I was the only facilitator. So, I was kind of the one-man band, designing the workshop and executing all the workshop with 10 different organizations. Now I'm so happy and proud that we have created a small pool of facilitators around the methodology. So there are other 6 facilitators right now that with me have experienced how to lead the 10 Diamonds workshop with a group of people from 2 to 12 people around the table. And it's pretty cool because now we are kind of a joint venture team around the methodology, and all the facilitators that have helped me to execute the methodology are also giving me feedbacks in order to improve, generally speaking, the design. So it's a very good tiny community in our region, and I'm so proud that we have started this movement in our territory.
It's really beautiful. With one idea, one workshop, you create a whole ecosystem, actually.
Yeah, so proud of that. And I thank you very much, the TEDI, the European cluster in my region, and Agenzia Lavoro Sviluppo Impresa, which is the regional agency that is funding this initiative, who basically gave us the resources and believed in us at the beginning in order to create this.
Okay, so now we are very curious. I am very curious about this workshop, and would you navigate us through the different pillars of the 10 Diamonds workshops?
Absolutely. Do you want me, Nathan, to share the screen while I speak, or do you want me a brief introduction before sharing the screen?
This is your time. This is your time. You can share whatever you like, if you share now or you want to introduce this first, as you want.
Okay, so just a quick intro on the 10 topics before seeing them into the Miro board. What are the 10 diamonds for strategic storytelling? They are basically the essential foundations of a business plan. So we start from the introduction, which is basically the positioning. Mm-hmm. So the ideal for specific target customer who have this specific problem. We are this kind of organization that does A, B, and C. And unlike our competitors, we are doing X, Y, Z. This is the way to align the conversation. And it's cool because it basically says, okay, let's define the perimeter of our space and let's see how much we align on the shared description. Then we go into the problem. So what is the problem our organization is trying to solve? Then we have the solution. So what is the simplest way we believe we have in the market to solve this problem? Then we go into the uniqueness. So why our solution is different from similar solutions in the market. Then we go into the model. So in the model, we try to define what is the business model or the simplest way to generate revenues of our organization. Then we go into the target. So we identify the ideal customer profiles, ideally from 1 to maximum 3 personas, and we try to understand what are their needs and how we can serve them better. Then we move into the competitors. So we map in the creative way possible what are the other players doing a similar service and why and how we are different from them. Then we move into the team. So we want to understand what are the key reasons why we decided to do this activity in the world and not anything else. So we need to really explain why our team is the best to solve this problem with this unique solution. Then we move into the OKRs. So we want to understand what are the objectives and the key results in order to measure progress in the next weeks, months, and years. And finally, we want to have something like a call to action. So what are the needs that you are having right now? If you're raising funds, if you are hiring new people, if you want to collaborate with partners having a specific offer in the market. So what are you looking for in this specific moment of your growth? And these are the 10 elements where the exercise is basically to co-create together 3 top priorities for each one of the 10 diamonds. So at the end, you have an overall overview from a high-level perspective of the most important topics that are around your 10 strategic key pillars. So if you want to see, Nathi, how this works in action, I can share the screen of the mirror board.
Yes. I have a question while you are opening the mirror board. Is it a series of workshops, or are you doing all this in a specific time, one day, or are there different formats to run this?
So it depends on the availability and the readiness of the customer, because the effort to complete the overall workshop is around 8 hours.
Okay.
So what we can do is, ideally what I suggest is to do 1 hour sessions per time. So with 1 hour session, we are able to complete the overall journey in a couple of months, which is the time necessary usually to digest the information if the team is not already trained to speak and work collectively around this topic. But if the team is ready enough and they need to execute in a fast way, we can do this in 1 day completely. So it's ready to be used after the day session.
Yeah, you are adapting depending on the audience, right? So I see a beautiful mirror board, and I see all the elements of it. Do you want to run us through this?
Absolutely. So as you can see from the top, this is the kind of canvas I have created, which looks very much like a business model canvas. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel here, but the positioning of the information are slightly different. So as you can see here, we put the introduction at the left, describing the payoff, vision, and positioning. Then close to the introduction, we have a problem solution, problem on top of the solution. Then at the center, we have the uniqueness and the model. And moving to the right, we have target and competitors. And to the final right, we have the roadmap. And kind of maintaining, like in the business model canvas, this is in the bottom, the team and the OKRs in order to basically balance the internal creation and the external research of information. And then, in order to build these 10 blocks, we have, as you can see here, 10 working spaces that are more or less the same. As you can see, we only change the overarching question and the description of what we want to get from the single diamond. So as an example, in this one, which is the first one, the positioning, how would you describe in a row your business? We have a short description that says, use this diamond to think collectively around the high level overview of what you do. So there is an explanation of what we are looking for here. And then there are 3 blocks at the bottom, as you can see. One is ideate. So in this space, all the participants write down all their ideas in order to achieve the goal that is written in the description. This is the first divergence moment, because the participant will work in a together alone fashion. So they will have 5 minutes to write down all their thinkings without being interrupted. So here everybody diverge. Then after 5 minutes, the facilitator jumps in and bring the post-it from the ideate column into the cluster column. And it starts the clustering session. So it's the first convergence. We are going to identify which post-its generated by the participants are similar to each other. We will move them from here to here, and we will try to put together under one single cluster the conjunction, let's say, of the diversity we have on the table. And this is the first convergence movement we have in the ground. Then we will bring the clusters we have created into the discuss zone. And the discuss zone is another divergence space, because here everybody will have the chance to say, okay, this one, which is a post-it A that is promoted to the highest level of our prioritization, I do believe is not the most important. We should put this down and put B up. And this is my opinion. And now I put to the group the chance to say, hey, I appreciate having B up, or no, I want A again on top. So we have a discussion here where we talk about the different nuances of keeping a priority up or down. And when we have completed this, which is the second divergence space, we will go to converge and say, okay, A is priority number 1, 2, or 3 for this diamond. And if everyone agrees, we have understood what is the top priority number 1, the 2, and 3 for the diamond we are working on. So as you can see, I try to keep it very simple and around the 2 diverge and converge movements of our double diamond design thinking technique.
Yeah, and you don't use any voting, or it's just in the discussion that you try people to commit to the one that are for them the priority or not, right?
So yeah. It's a discussion, yes, because the real voting comes into the discuss section on the right. Mm-hmm. And when I encounter situations where I really do need to say, okay, what is the opinion you want to share? Mm-hmm. Are you voting for A or B? I can go and make them raise their hand. Yeah. Yeah. With a very quick voting system. But if not, I use this very interesting model in the discuss section, which is random positioning. So from the cluster, imagine I have 7 clusters in the middle section. Mm-hmm. So as a facilitator, I will bring automatically 3 clusters on top and 3 clusters and 4 clusters on the bottom of the discuss. And that will be the random positioning of the elements. So if people think hey, this random thing is just bad because we have on top a thing that should be on the bottom. Perfect. They are entitled to raise their hand and say, I have something to say. I do believe that B is not good in that position. We shall put it down and bring C on top. And if the majority agrees, we do that immediately. If not, we open the first conversation.
How many people do you have in such session?
From 2 to 15, from very small to medium groups.
Yeah. So how do you do when you have like a bigger group and you see that the conversation is circular? How do you do this as a facilitator to come to a point?
Yeah. So what I'm selling here, to be very honest, is speed and efficacy of decision making. Mm-hmm. So it is my concern every time we are slowing down too much to say, guys, please, we are not writing this on the stone and we are not compromising your future by deciding right now that this element might be a little more important than the other element. So please take a decision and write somewhere that this decision was not the best decision you took. So if you want to be aware of your weak points, let's mark this as a weak point, but let's go ahead.
So interesting. So you navigate them through divergent and convergent and divergent again to come to the convergent at the end and have 3 elements on, for example, here, how would you describe in a row your business? And then you do this is exactly the same gymnastic for all the diamonds, right?
Yes. By the end of the journey, they will completely understand the mechanism of this double diamond. And what I saw in real life is that people it's exciting. It's fun and engaging because it's quite simple to process. And when they arrive at the 3rd diamond, it's already super clear what they need to do. So they are already very familiar with the process and they play with it very much.
So if you would navigate us to one of the other exercise, it would look exactly the same, right?
Correct. So let's go as an example to the number 6, the target. Mm-hmm. So the question here change. Who are the best users of your solution, and also the description change. So here you need to identify maximum 3 user or buyer personas for your product or service. You shall know your target very well, and the goal is summarize the most relevant traits that unite them. Thanks to this high-level overview and clustering, will be easier to link your uniqueness to their specific needs and desires. So the description position the team into the mental space where they need to stay in order to change the objective, but keep the same gymnastic, as you said. I like that.
I really like that because you bring the safe space. They will be curious at the beginning, and then they exactly know what they need to do.
Correct.
And I guess with the flow, the conversation are more effective, efficient.
It's both because the academic, we didn't mention, but we also have an academic study about this workshop because we have had as a facilitator also Professor Guido Bortoluzzi from University of Trieste, and he first facilitated a batch of the program with some companies, and then said, look, I really much like this exercise, and I would love to write an academic publication. So we studied the results of implementing this methodology with 10 companies, and he made a paper that was accepted for publication in the European Management Journal, where we have discovered that this methodology improves speed and efficacy of decision making, but most importantly, uncovers a counterintuitive problem. So the larger is your decision making team, the higher is the risk for the team to fall into group thinking biases. because especially with, let's say, bold leaders, when they are pretty sure about their abductive reasoning, which is the scientific way to say what we do when we use intelligence and creativity. So we basically fill the information gaps, right? There are things that we see and things that are not there. And we say, we predicted that potentially this is how reality will work. And when you enlarge the number of the people participating in these sessions to groupthink, you are risking so much to fall into the overconfidence bias and follow the idea of the boldest leader. So that's why empathy becomes a strategic skill, not only soft, but it becomes a really hard skill to lower the chances of fall into this overconfidence bias and to really nurture your collective intelligence as a cohesive unit. And that's why I'm pretty happy and proud to say that from this academic study that was generated from the 10 diamonds, I am basically elevating my overall positioning, where I'm basically saying, look, I sell empathy as a strategy to maximize speed and efficacy of your decision making.
This is so beautiful. I really like this. And I wrote 2 weeks ago the unpack framework. And it's just about asking the right question and being truly empathic as a strategic partner when you have a conversation with someone who is hiring you to design and facilitate a workshop, but actually to solve a problem. So it's really resonating what you are saying about empathy. Will we have access to this white paper that have been written about the 10 diamonds? Can the listeners access to it, or this is not public?
Absolutely. It's a free paper. It's available on Science Direct, and I will share with you the link to the paper and also to the article on LinkedIn, where I have simplified a bit the speech, because the scientific article is pretty long, and read everything, it might be a bit overwhelming. But I have a very nice LinkedIn article where I synthesize everything.
I feel very privileged that you shared with us your 10 Diamonds workshop, and I really that it is simple, that it is repeatable in the workshop itself. From this idea, you create really a product that has been used by so much people to start or to rethink their business. You have created an ecosystem with facilitators. You have been supported financially by the region of Venezia. A white paper has been written. So this is a whole adventure, this 10 Diamonds workshop, right?
Yeah. I'm so proud of this. And I'm also building a new product on top of this, which try to simplify even more the concept, and basically saying, okay, from the 10 diamonds, let's derive 5 layers of wisdom. So I've put these wisdom scores, which are awareness, purpose, value, clarity, and focus. Each one of them is connected to 2 diamonds. So it's basically a way to abstract your business plan into emotional scores that are telling you how much your team is capable, empowered to take these hard decisions, considering layers that are mixing how much they are aware of themselves, how much values, vision, and mission are shared in a common language, how much do the organization know the ideal customer profile and their pains, how much the problem-solving approach is tackled by the same angle. So we have the shared language about what are the key problems we need to solve in order to progress. And finally, defining the objective and key results in a very specific and detailed way. So how much we are aligned on the shared priorities to define the interdependencies between the units. So testing this new approach right now, I am speaking with a couple of scale-ups here in Barcelona that are interested to test and experiment with me this new methodology. So maybe, Nessie, in 6 to 12 months, we'll have the chance to be again your guest and tell you the results of the new flow 5 layers of wisdom methodology I'm building.
I would be more than happy to welcome you a second time, Riccardo, because you are really inspiring. You know that I'm putting this series, what's the workshop for that, to make facilitators aware, but not only facilitators, consultant trainers, all the people out there who are designing sessions, to inspire them to create their own workshops, their own signature workshops. So why would you recommend any of them to create their own ideas and develop their own ideas?
Because I do believe that the real essence of being a facilitator is to simplify. And when you are required to take your own pen and say, okay, now I will be responsible to design the process that the people that will do the workshop will need to trust. You are putting on yourself a huge responsibility. And I do believe that this responsibility is a great fuel to make you train your own thinking before asking others to trust the process of your thinking. So it's a great challenge for a facilitator to take this initiative. But when you will bring your own methodology, you will be much more committed and much more into that. So your credibility to showcase something that is really appreciated by people and really bringing results is amazing, because you will not speak only because somebody else told you that this works, but you build it, you saw it in action, and it will be kind of your baby. So try never to be too much emotionally related, because you need to be able and ready to disrupt everything, or even to throw away everything if it's not working. But owning the process where you will ask people to trust and to commit and to dedicate their time in is such a strong bond opportunity for the people you want to invite to your work.
Thank you so much, Riccardo. Where can our listeners learn more about your work or connect with you?
Super. So LinkedIn, it's my first connection channel. So please look for me. My name is Riccardo Mazzolo, double C, because Riccardo is an Italian name and not a Spanish name. Or you can find me on my website, which is petali.org. Petali is the Italian word for petals. So it's the plural of petal, and it's in Italian, petali.org.
And we will make, of course, all the information in the show notes. Thank you so much. Have a great time in Barcelona. And please reach out again when you have tested and run your new workshop. How was the name? The Wisdom of?
Flow. It's flow. 5 layers of wisdom.
5 layers of wisdom. Flow. Thank you so much, Riccardo. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nati. It was lovely to meet you.
Bye-bye.